was done just this year at the Royal. How do you keep going so strong?
I guess it really boils down to it started with a great passion for horses when I was a young person, and that passion is just as strong to this very day. Plus, I love sport, so it's a perfect combination. And if you're really having fun doing something, why would you ever stop doing it? And this is just a whole lot of fun. And the icing on the cake is that I do it with my son and my daughter. So if all three of us are in a competition, as far as I'm concerned, I get 3 chances to be successful, not just 1. And because I'm happier if they do well, really. So yeah, that's how I keep going, because I love it and I have a passion for the horse.
Not so happy for them to do well that you don't mind beating them, though. But just the other day we were having a conversation and the subject of coaching came up, and we're here tonight to celebrate Bill's incredible achievement. I know how important coaching is to you, so maybe you can just give the great people here with the OEF just your thoughts on coaching.
Well, athletes who stand the test of time generally have very solid basics in any sport, and our sport is certainly no different. And those good basics are going to have their foundation in proper coaching, and that is why I'm such a believer in this whole program. Many years ago, in the early, or maybe the mid-'70s, this coaching program for equestrian was started. And I worked at a place called Dwyer Hill Farms just outside of Ottawa in those days, and we hosted the inaugural group to try to figure out how to do this thing and write the manual. And there was a gentleman there by the name of Michael Gutowski, Colonel Gutowski, who was a great mentor to so many of us. And he was a Polish cavalry officer and rode in the Second World War on horseback against tanks. Now you might say, what's that got to do with jumping? You would have to do with sanity at that point, but that aside, he did survive the whole mission, came to Canada, and trained a lot of very good riders. Well, we get going first thing in the morning, and the viewpoint was put forward that up to a certain level, the basic training should be the same whether a person wanted to be a dressage rider, an eventer, or a show jumper, or whatever. How you held the reins, how you sat on a horse, your basic leg position, all these things. Well, we discussed this thing for about an hour and a half, and we could not get a consensus with all these trainers. So I said to one of the girls that worked at the place, I said, bring whatever horse it was, tack it up and bring it to the arena. And we were in the lounge, there's glass, and you could see the arena. So that everybody notices the horse is there. They said, what's the horse doing there? And I said, we need Colonel Gutowski to get on this horse. So he gets on the horse, picks up the reins. The manual was written right off that position. I said, does anybody disagree with anything about his position? And everybody said, no, that's just how you hold the reins. That's just where your legs should be on. And a total agreement just off the picture of it. Yet in an hour and a half of discussion, we couldn't get an agreement. And the manual, they began writing the manual. And the coaching program for me has never really become as strong as I believe it should be. I mean, how you do it, because we have the sport model and we have the business model. And so to say that every trainer out there needs to be certified, needs to teach a certain way, again, that's something for great discussion. But if you look at any other sport that's successful, you know, when little Joey's taught to hold a hockey stick, you know, that's the way he's going to hold it when he's in the NHL, isn't it? And so many other sports are exactly the same. It's all about your basics. And the good habits you learn in the beginning, when you first ride a horse, you'll soak it up like crazy. And you get those wrong habits in there, and they are really difficult to change. And often we'll get a student, and I'm sure every coach here will understand what I'm talking about. You have a lesson with them, and you spend 75% of the lesson undoing old stuff, and only 25% putting in new stuff. Now, what a waste of time that is. If that bad stuff had never been put in there, you'd just be starting and building and building and building all the time, and progress would be so much faster. And many people really have a problem breaking habits. Some people, it's pretty easy for them to do it, but others, it's a real struggle to change a habit. And again, any coach here is going to know what I'm talking about. And so I think it is about time that we really get this coaching program formalized and up and running. And I'm a fan.